Sci-fi RPGs allow players to explore the future in vast worlds. Similar to fantasy, they're imaginative, making them the perfect genre and setting for video game exploration and storytelling. The cool gadgets, abilities, and weapons offered in sci-fi RPGs are unlike anything in other video game genres. The imagined future has changed over the years, and there are several aspects to consider when creating a sci-fi RPG, whether it's a dark look into the dangers of a high-tech world or a fun take on the wonder of space and the future. These are some of the best sci-fi RPGs ever made.
Horizon Zero Dawn may have been slightly overshadowed by The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it is still an equally amazing open-world game. Aloy is a fantastic female lead for players to explore the world of Horizon Zero Dawn. The open world is rich, and even in a post-apocalyptic setting, the natural surroundings are gorgeous. It can be easy to forget it's sci-fi until players battle and interact with the various machine enemies and the tech at Aloy's disposal. Horizon Zero Dawn's story is also top tier and delivers some genuinely strong reveals later in the game and series.
NieR Automata takes place in a future where androids built by humans fight a war with machines made by aliens. It offers one of the deepest and most heart-wrenching stories in a video game, with existential themes that explore the meaning of life and killing. The gameplay in NieR Automata is mostly hack and slash, but includes unique elements such as shoot-'em-up sections, text adventure segments, and shifts between 3D and side-scrolling in some areas. Since the full experience can't be seen in just one run, players have a reason to keep going after the credits roll. Sticking with it is well rewarded with an unforgettable and emotional journey.
Cyberpunk 2077 is the definition of a sci-fi RPG. It started strong, provided players avoided the console version, and was made even better with the Phantom Liberty expansion. The game is set in a dystopian near future where corporations rule and cybernetic implants are the norm, and that premise means it's a game with tons of customization options. Besides the cool gadgets, hacking, and cybernetic goodness, the world is rich with a story that stays with players. It's the truest form of science fiction, showing how the future could be and the dangers of corporate greed and technology. The writing in the main story and side quests is phenomenal and challenges players to not only have fun, but reflect. Cyberpunk 2077 is a game that every fan of the sci-fi genre needs to play and deserves to be number one on this list.
It's no secret that The Outer Worlds is influenced by Fallout New Vegas. The game was developed by Obsidian Entertainment and directed by the creators of the Fallout series. While it has a lot in common with New Vegas, The Outer Worlds has a much lighter tone and takes inspiration from Firefly and Futurama, two well-known sci-fi TV shows. The game is set in the Halcyon star system. Greedy megacorporations have taken over, and the player is asked by scientist Phineas Wells to take down the megacorporations and rescue the colonists. It has many features similar to Fallout, such as the attribute system and dialogue choices that shape the world. The combat, characters, and story are all great, and make this a sci-fi RPG worthy of the top 10.
The first Deus Ex game came out in 2000 and is a marvel that blends RPG, FPS, and stealth elements. It uses a real-world cyberpunk setting in a dystopian future. In the game universe, the Illuminati and Majestic 12 play a big part in the story, where cybernetic enhancements, called augmentations, exist. Deus Ex gives players a lot of freedom. Even though there's a main story and side quests, the player can approach them however they want, with whatever skills they choose. In that way, it added much more immersion into the story and world. This game is a shining example of what a cyberpunk sci-fi game can be, and laid the foundation for similar games that followed.
Star Ocean: The Second Story R is the most recent remake of the original Star Ocean: The Second Story, a game that's often viewed as the best in the franchise. It blends sci-fi with fantasy through its two protagonists, Claude and Reyna. Players can choose which of the two characters to start with, but the other still joins later in the story. It features fast-paced, real-time combat, which was a departure from the typical turn-based gameplay found in most RPGs at the time of its original release. There are multiple party members to recruit, but players decide which ones. Star Ocean: The Second Story R exudes charm and does a good job showcasing the sci-fi feel through its setting, story, and enemies.
There's no denying the popularity of Final Fantasy VII. This game is known by even the most casual gamers and spawned several spin-offs in both gaming and other media. While the remake adds more to the world and story, the original is still a fantastic game with several sci-fi elements. It all starts in the city of Midgar, a tech wonder with a steampunk vibe. Machines and technology are found throughout, and the sci-fi elements go even deeper later in the story when learning about the origins of certain characters. Though there are multiple Final Fantasy games that fit into the sci-fi genre, few stand up to the popularity of Final Fantasy VII.
Chrono Trigger is not only one of the best sci-fi RPGs, it's one of the best games in general. A title that was ahead of its time, Chrono Trigger was released on the SNES in 1995. It follows Chrono on an adventure through time with varying party members and a great battle system. Although there are older time periods in the game, such as 65 million BC, there are plenty of futuristic ones with sci-fi elements. One time period is 2300 AD and features a robot party member named Robo. There are multiple endings depending on the order players go in and what they do. Though time travel has been done a lot, Chrono Trigger offers a great take on it that should be experienced by all fans of the genre.
The follow-up to the wildly popular first Mass Effect game improved on the original in nearly every way. It's the definitive space RPG and allows players to travel to several planets and build connections with their squad mates. The second game in the trilogy places a much bigger emphasis on squad loyalty and relationship building than the first, so much so that the success of the final mission depends on it. Technically, the original Mass Effect trilogy could be counted as a single experience, considering choices carry over between each game and there's an overall story arc. Mass Effect 2 is still widely considered the best of the series due to its excellent writing and gameplay improvements. It offers the same player choice and immersive world that Knights of the Old Republic provided, but on an even bigger scale.
Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is one of the greatest Star Wars and sci-fi RPGs ever made and showcases early BioWare brilliance. It features one of the best interactive stories and twists ever seen in a video game. On top of that, it managed to create one of the most popular Star Wars characters ever made, Darth Revan. Players can live out their Star Wars fantasy by creating their own character and selecting several dialogue options that shape not only their character, but the story. Though the combat can feel outdated, literally everything else about the game is timeless and provides several hours of playthrough for fans of sci-fi and Star Wars.